Hello world, this is Shruti Pandey, and today I have with me an amazing leader, amazing guest, amazing inspiring journey of a QA to what he is today. So I hope this will inspire you in some way or the other. Today I am here on itishruti with Ajay, who is a senior director QE currently, and it's an honor and really a privilege to have you on the podcast, Ajay. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you, Shruti. I've been seeing your podcast with the way you talk, not the entire podcast, but snippets, and the way you express. Like, wow, great maturity and wonderful to be on the show. So, thank you once again for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm a little humbled right now. I don't know what to say about the kind words you gave me. I respect it. Do you want to start on some, thoughtful, matured, or spiritual note? Anything that you would want to say? And we begin, and I start asking you questions. Do you want to say anything?
We worry a lot, and sometimes we should not. And the easiest way I feel is write down your worries, and when the actual things happen, come back and refer your notes. Most of it would have been your imagination. So just be alive, just be present, and take things as they come. Either you will learn or you will enjoy, and that I think is kind of the essence of life. Like, be in the present and not think too much ahead. So yeah, let's get going.
Wow, man. Now that's a start to a podcast, right? Amazing, amazing. I have created three questions for you. Given your experience and time and everything, I know any podcast would fall short to incorporate and encompass all of that. But I have tried to categorize, the questions based on your journey and looking at, the things which amaze me also. Like, okay, a fellow tester or a peer or a senior or a leader who is doing something like this. So
Mhm.
if you feel at the end, by the end, like something was missing, you can just add towards that point. But to just start off, my first question for you is, I've always seen that through your LinkedIn post and whatever I see in the face of internet coming from Ajay and everything, you look like a very avid learner of not just life, like you said your initial words in the start, but also of what more should I learn about technology, testing, leadership style, etc., etc. And it's half of the times I see like people just say things for fluff, but it's not really the case. But with you, you have actually invested not just your time, but also your money with different, testing courses that you took part of or participated. I'm not going to name them, but you know what I'm talking about. So I want to understand how fruitful do these investments on testing courses pay off? Because and I'm asking you very wholeheartedly because given the market situation, given financial situation of people, they will get some idea of what they can do and navigate things like this for themselves. So since you've done it firsthand, I would like to hear it from you.
Yeah, right. I have a long story. At the same time, let me give a 30-second brief of how it will help, and then maybe we could dive deep, right?
Okay.
I attended a writing workshop with Karthi. Okay. And it was around, I think, 3,000 rupees for 30 days. There's like one Sunday, 2, 3 hours of workshop with her where she'll talk about testing, writing, teach about writing. And
Okay.
then 30 days, next 30 days, we have to write 300 words minimum every day. You miss a day, you will not get back the money. But if you write for 30 days, you will get back the money, right? And that was a good challenge. So wrote for 30 days, got the 3,000 back. Okay. The
But
next month, there was
which
this,
year is this happening, if you don't mind me asking?
sorry, which?
Which year was this happening, this writing challenge?
October last year.
Oh, okay.
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 And after that, she came up with one more course called uh, Visual Design for Non-Designers.
Okay.
And I'm not a designer, so I thought, okay, let me go there. And this time it was like pay 5,000 and participate in 7 days of exercise. If you do those exercise, you get 2,000 rupees back. So I
Oh,
did those. I got my 2000 back. And because we are part of the cohorts, we are part of Karti's communities and all of it, the guild, she calls it as the Makers Guild. We got a discount code on Storytelling Cohort by Matthew Dix, who is the author of the book called Storyworthy, and the cohort, which will start by like 5th Feb
okay.
this year, right? So in 2 days, it goes on for the entire month of Feb. It costs around $500,
Okay.
but because it is like the first time, they gave a 50% discount, and because we are Karti's friends, we got it at like $29,
Okay.
right? So everything is connected, right? So when the first time you have to invest, okay, without thinking when will I get back, what will I get back, and all of it. But it is more like a compound effect. The more you invest in self, the more you learn, and the more you learn, the more you get a chance to apply. And when you apply, the results are 3x, 5x the investment. Many people are impatient with results, right? But patient with action. कल कर लेंगे, परसों कर लेंगे. So it's actually the reverse, right? Be patient with results, but impatient with action. If every day you are focusing on your stuff, like you're reading about testing, writing about testing, speaking about testing, and actually testing, soon you will be in the top 20% of testers. Okay. But many people take up a course. In 10 days, they want to say, "Arey, there's no difference. I am not able to showcase this new learning. So
Hmm.
maybe this course is useless." So that patience and impatience game, right? If people can crack it, that is when all these investment look like, oh, such a small investment, let's just go ahead. So I have discovered very recently that I get extreme joy in two things.
Okay.
If I'm teaching and if I'm learning.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm learning every month something and I'm teaching something every month. That way I'm like, okay, this lifetime is good for that. Right. So yeah.
That is so amazing, man. And that was so pure, genuine honesty and transparency. I love it. I love it. I have one small follow-up though. Sometimes it's just not about being lazy or the money or this or that part, but I've also understood in my way and fashion of, teaching or learning that sometimes people are some kind of learners may not find that course kind of thing very applicable for them, so it doesn't always necessarily has to be a course, right? It has to be learning in some way or the other. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, because again, everybody has their own style, right, while teaching or learning. What do you have to say to that?
No, that's a fact. Everyone learns differently. Some learn, there's this WAC learning style, VAK, visual, auditory, and then kinesthetic. Some people learn by doing, some people are great. They absorb a lot by just listening. I can't absorb a lot by listening. I need to see stuff. Even when someone is saying I need to write it down, or else it's just very, like 15 seconds memory span, right? Kind of thing. So some people want a school-like teaching. Some
Mhm.
people want self-exploration. Some people want a group, right? So that is where figure out your learning style and then have these learning partners, accountability partners, and yeah, you'll be on the right track for learning anything that you want to learn, right? But you have to take the first step.
Yes, absolutely. The first step, the hardest one, but yeah, the first step. So moving on to, asking you about other first steps that you've taken, the difficult ones or the easier ones, and trying to understand more from you. When I see your journey from the testing background and the different titles and places you have worked off, I have also seen that in past you were a founder or entrepreneur yourself in two different places. I think one, the weekend testing is still something which you enjoy and you still might be having, and you're giving me a time off from that. So, what experiences did you learn from that kind of a, let me start something like this, or whatever that might be? It could be small, big, whatever you wanted to start off. So, just as being a founder, entrepreneur, or I don't know. Maybe you can say like I'm the first person in the team and starting the entire team from scratch. What those kind of
Right.
experiences have taught you?
Those experiences teach more about yourself more than anything else. Are you the person who talks versus are you even capable of doing that stuff? You can't fool yourself. You can fool a lot of people, but you can't fool yourself. You know, every night when you go back to sleep, are you making an excuse or have you given up? That realization is evident when you try something on your own without anyone's support or without partnering with someone, right? So that way you don't have anyone to blame also, right? So it is all yours. So, of course, after that realization, you learn a lot about people, you learn a lot about different tools, different technologies, and how others perceive the same situation. And you will learn a lot from others' experience as well. See, all of these are experiments. Okay. To experience success or for any matter, you need experience. And to get experience, you need to do a lot of experiments. Many people hesitate from experimenting because they say, oh, I have never written a blog. I have never spoken at a meetup. So, how can I speak at a meetup? When you were born, your family did not celebrate, oh, we have a software tester at our home. Right? So, you learned it. Now, if someone else can do it, you also can do it. I mean, that's the beauty of human life. So, with all these experiments, you slowly gain experience. And what is experience? As there is a quote, experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. You
Why?
want something, you don't get it. At that moment, what you get is experience, right? So unless you experiment, you will not get experience. And without experience, you will always be afraid of that person who has the experience. At least I am very afraid of that person who has experience. That person can have skill. That person, I just ask one question: has that person done this before? If yes, I'm like
Wow.
very afraid.
Yeah.
Do extra preparation. If I have the experience, I'm like, it's okay, I know how this is done, right? So with all those experiments, I would call it as experiments. Yeah, it finally leads to experience. And yeah, you also make a lot of mistakes. Some of them I have written in the book, my book called 50 plus mistakes of my career, software testing career. So yeah, uh, keep experimenting, keep learning.
And where can I find that book? Or if somebody just had that question in their head, where can they find this book?
Yeah, they can find all my books at bit.ly/AJ Lean Pub.
Okay.
So there are like 5 or 6 books there, bit.ly/AJ Lean Pub. So those are kind of paid books, and the free books are available at bit.ly/books AJ. AJ for Ajay, books AJ. Bit.ly/books AJ. You get all the free books. The paid books are at AJ Lean Pub.
Now,
Yeah,
I feel like asking you one question. I'm not sure if it's going to be rhetorical or something, but it's just like those follow-up when come. I mean, when I'm talking to you, I'm just having some questions, right? It's not
sure.
something that I had prepared to ask you. But when you mentioned about, that writing challenge, when you have already been writing books and everything, like still you feel like, okay, I should go for something like this, right? Consistently for 30 days. Like it's just something on your fingertips, right? When you are
Yeah,
writing than this, how different is that?
this was a question asked in the community also, saying like, "Hey, you have already published few books. Why have you come here?" See, we all have to understand and remember that every experience is going to be unique. Okay, you always have to go to any interaction with, what can I learn here? You could not learn anything also, but you will learn that there is nothing to learn from this experience or this kind of interaction. How will you know without experiencing?
Right.
Correct. So to experience, hey, will I learn or get something from this experiment? Unless you do that, you'll not know. So go ahead and do it. And for that reason, I did it. And of course, I had met Karthi in one more workshop before this. So I knew her teaching style and I loved it. So I said, okay, worst of worst, you'll spend 3 hours with Karthi, right? So that's let's go ahead. Right? Yeah.
Wow, man. Wow, this is really amazing. And when you're talking, there are different people. I'm not saying just about the podcast, but in general, when, like you mentioned, just the one who talks and the one who does, the doer and the thinker is what I call it. So, when you're talking, it's not just you're talking for the heck of it or somewhere. That conscience of your, or that, the fact that I've tried so many things, I've experimented, I've failed, I've succeeded, that it's just so beautiful. The way you're talking, the way you're sharing your journey, it is just so beautiful, if I were to say the adjective.
Thank you. So there are many things that are public. There are many things that are not public. For example, I'm trying to learn flute. Okay. I'm trying to learn about magic. I'm trying to figure out what would be good question papers for my kids' exams. So I'm trying a lot of things. Those things are not at public, right? So I'm always experimenting. Let's put it that way. And I enjoy this. My classmate, my schoolmate, he says, uh, I don't think you will ever retire.
Yeah.
You will always be doing something. And I feel, yeah, I'll always be doing something or the other. My father always says, I don't know what he does in the room, but he's always in the room. I'm like, yeah, I am. But I'm doing something. But maybe I'm not speaking it out, but yeah, I'm continuously thinking, experimenting. And yeah, after maybe 2 years, weekend testing is back today. So at 4 o'clock, like 30 minutes from now, right? So
Wow, after 2 years, it's going to be back again today.
yeah. I was super lazy and with lot of other things priorities, I did not take it. But it started in 2009 when
Yeah.
there were like hardly any communities. There was like one test republic in India, and Ministry of Testing was
Nice.
called as Software Testing Club
Yeah.
in the US. Sorry, in the UK. Other than these two, there were not many. And then weekend testing was one more, which was like, it had a excellent reach. People loved it, and now it's going to come back. So I'm like, yeah, going
Oh,
to celebrate.
I didn't know this, that it's, oh, I feel so blessed and lucky that I'm doing this today. I'm recording this just before that. I hope I spread some, at least 1% of happiness or positivity so that you carry it in the session.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Look
the
forward to
moment you
more
said
tests.
magic and the moment you mentioned about there are things which people don't know, I felt so humbled. I was like, wow, and so glad. I was like, he's mentioning something that somebody doesn't know and they'll learn about him. So it's just an opportunity and honor. But the moment you mentioned magic, I was like, probably something will come out of that curtain. He'll just pull it and we'll be like, magic.
I wish.
No, just kidding. I know, but I don't know why. When you said that, I was like, probably you'll pull that curtain off and there'll be something like voila.
Right, right.
Anyways, jokes apart and keeping my happiness to some maintainable level, I want to ask you one final question. I understood your learning style. I understood your experimentation journey about how afraid or not afraid you are of being that first person to start something off or being a founder or whatever they call these days, right? I want to understand professionally and without this being very controversial for you. How is a day or life in senior director QE, or if you want to mention it, any of your way or style, because I'm pretty sure many people would be out there who would feel like asking, how is that? How is, like, what do you have to do every day? What is it exactly like? So how would you want to answer that?
Right. So let me generalize a lot of things and give like one from a product company perspective and one from a service based company, right? Say when I was in a product based company, it was release tied to a release, right? And The overall responsibility of the release or the releases would come to this key person who's like, head of all of this, right? Hey, are are we all on track for this release or not? Is there any area that needs immediate attention? Are we on track for like the next 2 months in terms of the product roadmap, right? Hiring, margins, like the money part, right? All of it. Any laws, any compliances that we need to take care of? Are we thinking on those lines? Are we innovating enough? Right? Are we innovating enough? Who is responsible for it? Are they aware that they are responsible for these? Have they been assigned clear goals? Who is tracking all of this? So this, jumping between these threads would be the key responsibilities of someone heading up, the entire QE or the product releases in a product-based company, right? Something like that. Say, when it comes to a services space, for the overall service, whatever you're offering, right? Are we green or red in terms of the money? Okay. Are people happy or will they resign? Are we getting newer customers or are we at the risk of losing existing customers? Right. So thinking very at the very high level, these are the 2, 3 things. What are we innovating? How is our center of excellence doing? Right. Say when you log in, like you open your laptop and you log in for that day, some of the key things that come up is, there might be meetings with HR teams, marketing teams, sales teams. There might be meetings with clients, prospects, meeting with existing project teams. Okay, someone would come and say, hey, you know what, we need to deliver this. We are stuck here. We are thinking of this approach. What do you think? Okay, someone might come and say, I want to have a one-on-one with you. I want to discuss something related to my career, something related to my personal life. I want to get your help, advice, your time, right? So lots of meetings, lots of PPT preparation, lots of thinking, and strategizing, thinking ahead. Yeah, how do I get to triple this account? How do I ensure that this attrition comes down, right? How do I come up with an evaluation of like 10 tools? How do I plan this out? All of that. For someone at the other side, if I reply too soon, they might think, hey, this person has no work, always replies immediately. If you don't reply, if you don't reply because you're busy presenting or attending a meeting and all of it, they say contact us anytime, but look, they are not replying to us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's both ways.
Yeah.
Um, so use so that is where when new members join to my team, I share with them the working style, how to work with Ajay, and I say, here are the 10 points. You own your work. You do good work. You are free to make mistakes. You should learn every day. Blah blah blah. So 10 things, and then I say, if you want to contact me, this is the way. You contact me here. 30 seconds if you don't get a response, and if you still need an answer, you come here. If you still don't, then you are free to call me, right? But don't call me for answers that you can answer yourself.
Correct.
Okay, don't do that. Many people are afraid for the simple reason that what will my manager tell? What will my manager think? So I show them my book and say, look, I made enough mistakes. So don't worry about mistakes. Go ahead and make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, then I'm very afraid. I'm worried. You're doing the same stuff. So when they get that confidence, and I also ask them, this is my style. Do you have any style of how I should work with you? You let me know. And they're like, which manager asks like
As
this? And I'm
well.
like, you never
Exactly.
worked with me. So that's why maybe you have not experienced it. So I'm asking you. Then they say, yeah, maybe I don't want to be disturbed on weekends. I don't want to be disturbed after 6 p.m. I don't want to be disturbed at this hour, right? They also share something. Then I like, I know. if someone is not responding at this time, I know that okay, maybe they have gone for prayer, maybe they have gone to pick up their kids, maybe they have gone for a checkup. So communication, right? So yeah, so day to day life, if you see, be ready for challenges, and you can't predict, but be prepared for anything. Someday you will see that code is leaked in public. So how do you take action? Someday you see that you need to hire 10 people in the next 10 days. Some days you need to see that, oh, you need to prepare something for a hackathon or a presentation or a meetup or a conference. So yeah, it's a lively kind of a role where you have to bring in a lot of skills. Being calm under confusing states, write well, speak well, present well, understand people well, have empathy, plan for the risks, and yeah, celebrate together, be the loudspeaker for others' success, but at the same time, bring empathy and help those who are not stepping up. Show them an example of what stepping up means, right? So yeah, a lot of things. But yeah, it's a uh, it keeps you on your toes and makes you feel like, oh wow, yes, aaj kuch kiya.
I was a little hesitant asking you this question because, I don't want to overstep my limit. I know you are a part of an organization. It shouldn't become something, difficult for you position, basically. I know you can answer, and the way you answered, this is brilliant. This is like laying out everything there and saying this is how it happens. But I still feel like asking you one thing. While I totally got the point when you were explaining everything to me about how you do the many things you do. I'm pretty sure that's so much about time management, communication, verbal, written, the leadership thing about, where to empathize, where to take care, and where to understand, okay, they are not, serious enough about their career. How can I mentor them or help them? Everything has, different flavors to everything. So, how do you manage it for yourself? I mean, being the calm part, like, how do you take care of that for yourself? Because if you go all gaga and bonkers and everything is going to come to a toss. And then you have your kids, your family, yourself. So again, everybody has their personal life and people they are accountable to in the workplace, right? So how do you, I'm not even asking about work life balance here or anything at all, but just about how you, like, it could be meditation, singing, flute, magic, I don't know. What is that thing for you? I just personally want to understand, not just for the users, this or the viewers who are listening, but this I feel like asking for myself.
Right. So I don't sing, I don't meditate, and it's been many days since I touched the flute and
Okay.
magic also.
Okay.
So what I think, one is deadlines is one thing that is continuously driving stuff. And at the same time, I play chess a lot. I play those 10-minute games a lot. Chess is something that maybe helps you think quickly. That is one. And as I told, a lot of different experiences kind of molds you as a person. That is one. Second, having good circle of friends, mentors, supporters, all of it. So, for example, I've created 3 WhatsApp groups. One WhatsApp group with everyone junior to me,
Okay.
just to be in touch with, like, hey, what do they do? What is trending, right? What is Instagram, right?
Okay.
The
Nice.
next one is a group of everyone who you know we all grew at the same stage, right? From career path. So all of friends, right? The next one is like everyone whom I take inspiration from, who have already like more than 10 years than me in this journey and all of it, right? So see, a board exam, for example, is very hectic for a 10th standard student.
Mm.
But for someone who is 10 years into the industry, for like, hey, board exam is just an exam, right? So it gives you perspective. So to understand this perspective, these seniors help you understand whether what you're worrying about today is really important or not, right?
Correct.
That way, having different sets of people, interacting with all of them, and as they say, Sangat ka asar, I have a wonderful book reading community that meets every Saturday, including we met today, where we discuss about books, where we discuss about experiences. Then there is this testing lab workshop that I do, the alumni group, which has like around 65, 70 members, where we discuss just about testing. Then there is this problem solving group on WhatsApp. Then, of course, these mentors, these different groups, and a circle of like 10, 15 members whom I can call up anytime and discuss testing, and they will not feel odd. They will also respond, right? So many testers are in silos. I feel the moment they come out of these silos and have these kind of communities, right? Things become very easy. For example, and having mentors help. Like I have a coach who helps me with my running. I need to run X kilometers every week. I need to report saying, today I ran this, I am feeling this, or, I'm feeling so and so. Like tomorrow I have a 5K run to be done in the morning. So, yeah. So keep yourself active, uh, communicate enough with family, with friends, all of it on what to expect, what not to expect, when to expect, what to expect, right? And balance stuff. Like in Jan, with all those, multiple calls and all of it, I went to a Goa trip for like 3 days with my schoolmates, right? And December, I went to Pondicherry trip, right? So I do go on all of these. It's just that maybe I don't tell it often. So people think, okay, this guy is 24 bar 7 in front of computer. No, I'm not, right? Half of the time I'm not in front of computer. Most of it happens through mobile itself. See,
Correct.
because all you have to take decisions, yes or no, pause, continue, hold, or don't do, right? And that comes from experience and from experiments, right? So balance, see, there is a quote, right? If you do what you like, there's nothing called stress.
Yeah.
So figure out what you like. So I figured out I like teaching, I like learning.
Yeah.
Anything that teaches me, I love doing it. And anything, anywhere I can teach, I love it.
Correct.
So it could be different for different people. I play with my kids, I tell stories, most of it on my own stories, and they laugh. So it's all good. So yeah, I don't say it's balance. Things are working fine, and yeah, good.
They are lucky to have you. I'm sorry, it's not my space to say, but I think they're so lucky to have you because they're watching and learning from you, right? That 24 hours is sufficient enough to live the way I can live, manage my studies, manage playing, manage my time with family. I think directly, indirectly, we also as kids learn from our parents, right? They are our first teachers. So I think
And
that
there's always a better way to do stuff. And you know, see, there is this wonderful PDF called as "Playing the Expert Game" by John Bach. If
okay.
you search by "Playing the Expert Game," you will get it. And in that PDF, there is a table which reads something like, uh, if you are continuously learning, if you make a mistake but you learn from it, if you don't know something but you don't rest on it but you prepare to learn it, and all of that, then others will not worry about whether you already knew it or you learn on the job. Others will not worry if you make a mistake because they know that you will recover from it, and beautifully written, right? So yeah, I recommend people to go check that out. So don't aim for perfection, just live the moment, and continuously experience that joy of living in the moment. Things will be all right.
It's amazing. Do you think there was anything which I know you would the way the kind of person you are, you would not keep something to expectation or something, but do you think there is something which I left and I should have asked you during the podcast? Anything that is like a missing piece in this puzzle called Ajay?
If I had come with expectations, but Shruti will ask this, then say, oh, you did not cover 4, 6, and ninth question that I had in my list, right? I came like, hey, Shruti has invited,
I'm
thanks, so
saying, like,
let's
I
join
know
her.
you are not that kind of a person, but still, do you feel there is something? Because I was just trying to celebrate you as you, not like, oh, he's a father of these kids or. a brother or a son or a director or a tester, but you as you, right? Like you rightly mentioned, when you're born, it's not like, oh, tester paida ho gaya ghar mein. It's not like that, right? But it's you. So do you think there is anything missing today in our conversation which should have come, or I should have asked, or you should have said, or whatever you feel like?
I would say that there is nothing called as missing. जो होना था हुआ या हो रहा है, right? Whatever had to happen is happening and has happened. The moment I start feeling like, why did Shruti not ask about my workshops? Why did Shruti not ask about Jerry Weinberg? Then it is like replacing the joy of talking here with, oh, she did not ask me that. You see how the mood changes, right?
Yeah.
So instead of celebrate, thanks Shruti for inviting me. Thanks to listeners who will, maybe listen to all of this. Yeah, wonderful. I got a chance to, wear this, which I had not worn for any of those interviews or any of these meetings, right? So yeah, so
Appreciate it.
chill, chill.
Appreciate it. Do you have any parting thoughts or any advice to people who are listening to us? I had a blast of time today. Literally, let me just say that out loud. I enjoyed this conversation. It was so insightful and so, deep and profound to me. I hope the people who are listening or watching this would feel the same way. And if not, I hope they feel even better. But if there's
No,
any.
thank you so much. I recently realized or figured out that people are scared to talk with me. So I then went out and put out a post that, hey, don't be afraid, feel free to talk. And then, to my surprise, people came back and said, thanks to your post, we are reaching out to you now. So maybe I want to take this platform to highlight that, yeah, I might appear to scare you, but I don't scare people. Um, my friends say that I'm a good guy to talk with. So yeah, let's talk. Maybe I may not find immediately the time slot, but yeah, I'll definitely find a time slot to talk with you. So yeah, let's talk. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Seriously, you did find the time slot for me, I know. Despite the fact that January was busy to you, you came back. And despite the fact that after 2 years, weekend testing is happening again, within few minutes, you still managed to do this with me and gave your time and shared your experiences and experimentation. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for this podcast, for me, and for everybody who's listening. Thank you.
It's mutual. So thank you. I've also got to know a little bit more about myself, right? So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.